Hey guys, my name is Travolta Cooper. I am a filmmaker, and this is my IGTV. So in addition to producing films, every now and again I go a bit Jean-Luc Godard, and I do this sort of film journalism that's either in print or in documentary. This is one of the reasons why I attended the 2018 Cannes Film Festival this year. And while there, I had the pleasure of meeting and sitting with the legendary auteur, Spike Lee. Mr. Lee was at Cannes with his new film Blackkklansman, which was also there in competition. The movie won raves. It actually got a 10-minute standing ovation at its world premiere there. And Spike Lee then went home with Cannes' Grand Prix Award for directing the film. So there really hasn't been a time that I didn't know who Spike Lee was. I remember being 8, 9, or 10 years old, and I would write letters to his production company in New York. And one year, they actually wrote me back, giving me direction and guidance on the path I wanted to take. That letter fueled my little life. In fact, I need to find that letter. Spike Lee's contribution to the cinematic universe is enormous. This all began in 1986 with the classic debut, She's Gotta Have It. That debut led to the vibrant School Days in 1988. He gave us the daring Malcolm X in 1992, just to name a few. And last and not least, my personal favorite, the slice of life brilliance that was Do the Right Thing in 1989.
Magic Johnson. Who's your favorite movie star? Eddie Murphy. Who's your favorite rock star? Prince. You're a Prince
Boss, Bruce.
Prince.
Bruce.
Pino, all you ever talk about is nigga this and nigga that. And all your favorite people are so-called niggas.
It's different. Magic, Eddie, Prince are not niggas. I mean, they're not black. I mean, let me explain myself. They're not really black. I mean, they're black, but they're not really black. They're more than black. It's different.
It's different?
Yeah, to me, it's different.
Time is often the greatest judge of awards or cinematic classics. And Do the Right Thing has really stood the test of time. It is, in my humble opinion, one of the top 10 great movies of American history. It's one of the top 10 American greats. Over the last 4 or 5 years, audiences around the world have really been witnessing what some would call a black cinematic renaissance. And this isn't just happening in America. It's also happening in the Caribbean and Africa. There's no question that much of this rests on the shoulders and legacy of Spike Lee. And so when I addressed this with him on the French Riviera at Cannes, this is what he had to say.
Need it.
Absolutely. I grew up in the Caribbean, and I heard you refer to him as Uncle Spike. And I laugh because I think in many ways you're all of our Uncle Spike. You are the father of black cinema in my eyes, be it
modern black cinema maybe, but we got to mention Oscar Micheaux, Melville Van Peebles, Ozzie Davis, Gordon Parks. Who else? Gordon Parks, Sr.
Yeah.
So we have to understand that there's a legacy to keep happening, you know. I mean, there was Dr. J, you know, people before Michael, and you know, and LeBron's taking him. Excuse me for making comparison between, you know, films and cinema and sports, but there's a connection.
Skip Kobe.
Oh, hey, Kobe, I gotta love a Kobe. Look, Kobe didn't want to do. He got game. I went to him first. I went to Kobe before Ray Allen. So we have to understand this in like historical terms. Like, if we're gonna move forward, the generation has to the next generation has to take the baton and run that next leg quicker. We gotta look at it, I think, in that terms, and that's why I like to say I'm happy what Jordan Peele did. I'm elated what Ryan Coogler did. They're doing stuff I haven't done. You know, they're taking it up. And it's a wonderful thing.
It's also insane to a few of us too, because I saw this Hollywood roundtable before the Oscars where they invited Jordan Peele, Barry Jenkins, all the black director Oscar nominees, John Singleton, and Barry actually said he couldn't believe Spike Lee wasn't at the table. And John Singleton said he believes he only got Boys in the Hood was because they realized they made a mistake on Do the Right Thing. Any comments on that?
I will say this. Black Panther changed the world as far as this industry goes. The world is sitting before, Hollywood before Black Panther, Hollywood after. It changed the game. Seismic shift. And all of us are going to be, people of color will be in a better place because of Black Panther.
So Blackkklansman is one of the best and most topical films of 2018. In fact, this is Spike Lee in top form. If he were to retire after this, please don't retire. But if he were to retire after this, I think he would have left on a very, very high note. So Blackkklansman is based on the memoir by Ron Stallworth, a black detective in the 70s living in Colorado Springs who goes undercover and infiltrates the KKK. The film was actually originally offered to Jordan Peele fresh off the success of his film Get Out. But Jordan Peele assessed the material and said, no, this is Spike's movie. And he was right.
Sure. Well, Ron Stallworth wrote a great book and gave us a lot of great material. And, Jordan Peele brought Spike and I on and to kind of reconceptualize the film, in essence, really. And what we try to do is really try to make it what I call Brechtian, in terms of taking the past and really making it present and connecting it with the larger world in many ways, things that are going on today. We didn't want it to be a period piece. We wanted it to be obviously a 70s movie that connected to today, and so unfortunately there were so many things in what's going on today that really spoke to the film.
Was the scripting happening when we were seeing the rise of Trump, per se?
Well, I think Spike was in the editing room when Charlottesville happened. And so, we didn't have to really make anything up. I mean, it kind of presented itself to us, and Spike likes to talk about the participation of the president here.
Well, Kevin and I, want you to set this up.
Sure.
Talk about the ending we wrote.
So the original ending was that Ron and Patrice are in their apartment, and there's a knock on the door, and they're alarmed, and
David Duke, the real life David Duke, and the president, they wrote themselves into this film. They gave us an ending that Kevin and I cannot write.
Blackkklansman stars John David Washington and Adam Driver. The former is, of course, the son of Academy Award-winning icon Denzel Washington. And while the pairing of Spike and Denzel is the stuff of legend in cinematic history, this movie and this performance announces the arrival of John David Washington. You're magnificent in this movie.
Thank you.
Okay, all right.
Watching you up there, though, in all your charismatic glory, what's the pressure like, man? You're Denzel Washington's son. What's the pressure like? Denzel Washington's son, Spike Lee. There's obviously a rich legacy here.
Yeah, I mean, if I thought about that, I would have sabotaged the whole thing. I couldn't think of it that way. In fact, as far as the Spike relationship, it was quite the opposite as far as pressure. I became I was encouraged. I became more confident than I ever been as an artist because this living legend, chose me and believed in me and what I can do. And there was a lot of times what he didn't say to me, the notes that he didn't give. He was stripped down, but he never was suggestive. He kept saying, Ron is not the Bible. Ron is not the Bible. So basically trust yourself.
What's your problem?
That's my problem. For you, it's a crusade. For me, it's a job. It's not personal, nor should it be.
Why haven't you bought into this?
Why should I?
Because you're Jewish, brother. The so-called chosen people. You've been passing for a wasp. White Anglo-Saxon Protestant, cherry pie hot dog white boy. It's what some light-skinned black folks do. They pass for white.
And I was able to work with such freedom, and just was able to try things. You know, I felt like stuff was finding me. I didn't have to search for much. You know, and with the tremendous cast that we had.
Science.
I mean,
Science.
with the tremendous cast that we have, you know, all I had to do was listen to my scene partners. You know what I'm saying? So it was a tremendous opportunity. You know, no, obviously that goes without saying, but I really appreciated the process. You know what I mean? The process, and to become Ron, you know, change is a process. It's not an event. So you know, we did the homework. We you know, we rehearsed and all that, but then letting it go, and trusting that because the environment was set. Spike set such a great environment, one that I've never been a part of before, of such creativity. And everybody on set wanted to be there. They wanted to service the film. And Spike was the type of artist with, you know, with all his history, with his Hall of Fame record, right? The best idea in the room will still win. It was egoless. You know, I wasn't used to that either. You know what I mean? I've worked, you know, it could tear down teams, it could tear down sets. And it could become very distracting to the singular focus of just trying to tell the truth through these characters. And I had the freedom to do that because of the environment that was set and the example that was set for this man right here.
The film walks this really tricky balance of satire and anger, or drama, you know, the stuff of drama. Much of that is so heavily relied upon your performance because it's such a, your character is such a centrist, given audiences of all persuasions, you know, and a hero, someone to connect with. Was that a challenge striking that balance in the performance, and was that a challenge striking that balance in the film?
Well, I couldn't think about, you know, I mean, you know, film it's a director's, editor's, writer's medium. Like I had to do my job. I had to, you know, I got a lot of information from Ron Stallworth himself. He's still alive. And he was very generous with his information and time and the experience. So I didn't want to mimic, you know, I didn't want to imitate. I didn't want to fall, because that's constricting and that's one way of doing it. I wanted to inhabit the spirit of what he was going through of the 70s. I went to bed every night watching Soul Train. My playlist consisted of all 70s music for about 3 months. You know, that's all I listened to. So, so trusting that, you know, and then the scenarios that I was in, there was something that was happening at the banquet days, you know, with the Ku Klux Klan. That was one of the realest moments of, like, I had to pinch myself and, like, I had more respect for this man than ever after those days. I mean, the danger, what was at stake, you know, that really happened, you know what I mean? So, I mean, tremendous courage. And also a big takeaway for me was, it wasn't like just one black man, one opportunity, one mission. He was supported. You know, there were white men and women that helped him, that were about the case. You know, and worked collectively in the 70s in Colorado Springs, that wanted the same thing. And that was a huge takeaway for me.
As I tell my NYU graduate film students, nothing is easy. And so what you see in this film has been done many, many times before, where some of my favorite filmmakers have taken serious subject matter and injected humor into it. For example, the great Stanley Kubrick, Dr. Strangelove, the great Sidney Lumet, Network, script by Pat Chayefsky, the great Billy Wilder, Style Like 17, the great dynamic duo of Elia Kazan, director, Bud Schulberg, screenplay writer, On the Waterfront, A Face in the Crowd. Those films were back to back. So it's been done before. What is hard about doing those things is to find the right balance of the injection of humor into serious subject matter. I'm not a physicist, I'm not Albert Einstein, but I do know that, because I love sports, when stuff is off balance, you might not get the result you want.
On closing, what I will say is that Blackkklansman feels like both early and latter Spike Lee cinema. Now that I think of it, it kind of feels like post-Spike Lee cinema. It cements him as the father of black modern cinema, and his pairing with John David Washington represents almost directly a new generation being given the baton of story. I asked Uncle Spike what he thought about all this.
Again, I'm going to go back to Black Panther. You know, that was, I mean, we haven't felt like this amongst the community since Roots. What was that, the 70s? So let's get this. We need to reconnect the Black diaspora. How you pronounce the word?
Yeah, diaspora.
Diaspora across. Come on, we're all from Mother Africa. Our ancestors were stolen and brought all over the world. The word from Kansas City in the morning, the Kansas City at night. So let's reconnect, not just in the art world, business. There's so many things that we could do for ourselves, and we don't need anybody else to. There's never been a reconnection, but in a greater way. And I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Let's go. Come on, let's go.
Thanks for watching my IGTV, and if you're not yet, please hit the follow button for a lot of cool things to follow this year. Specifically, I'd like to ask you to keep an eye out for our digital series, Where in the World is Wally? That drops October 3rd, 2018. And in the words of Spike Lee, one of the things that we're aiming to do with the series is connect some dots around the world. Much love.